Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. In today's Outriders video, I'm going to share with you some tips for increasing your item level and finding better gear with attributes and mods for your builds as you progress through expeditions and increase your item level. Let's start by explaining very fast how item level works in expeditions and why it's important. Let's say that you just have unlocked tier 12. Your item level now should be 46, but the enemies you will face will be level 47. You will need to increase your average item level to match those of the enemy in order to get increased damage, plus you will get a passive health and anomaly power boost each time you increase that level. At least 5 items of the highest item level available will need to be equipped in order to increase it, as long as you have the previous items at previous maximum level, and the calculation includes your second weapon and sidearm. But now let's talk of the ways you can get new items in the game, because that's why you're here in the video. The first and direct way is that you'll know through expeditions, although since the enemies will outlevel you, it can be hard facing them, especially at higher levels. Although you will still get some gear every time you lose, as long as you have killed enough enemies, especially elites. And in this case, unfortunately, most of the items will be blue, although if you have progressed enough, you will get a chance for more epics and very rarely legendary items. The second way is to upgrade your current items, but that becomes harder from a certain point, as the resources you will need will include drop pod resources and you will not have nearly enough to keep up with all your items. And for the last way, the one that helped me get some of my best optimal pieces before expeditions, the vendors and crafting system. Let's start with the easy one. In your base there is Bailey, the vendor that sells the highest item level possible that you have unlocked. She sells epic and green items, and we will talk later why the green items can be important. She restocks every 30 minutes, and you can check her out between your expeditions as you farm in case she has something you may need. Be aware that high level epics can go from 200k and close to 400k scraps each, so you will need to save a lot of scrap in order to be able to buy gear pieces at any time. The other vendors most people will probably ignore, as I have did in the past, are located in Trench and Rift Towns. Although they mostly sell blue and green items, these can be actually the best potential pieces for our gear. And let me explain to you why. Let's say you visit Trench Town and you find that armor vendor that sells a blue piece of gear with 2 out of 3 attributes you want, one of the primary attributes, one of the secondary attributes for your build, and in best case scenario, a tier 1 mod that you use, that would be one of the ideal pieces, let's say. You can buy the item using only scrap and upgrade it to epic quality using titanium shards, giving you to choose a tier 2 mod out of 3 random choices once upgraded. But let's say now we are in worst case scenario and the tier 1 mod is not exactly what you want for your build. Then you can take a small gamble and hope that one of the 3 tier 2 mods will be the one you need for your build. Do not worry if you get unlucky, as you can dismantle the item and get back a small portion of titanium you have used for the upgrade. Now there are also the green items from the vendors in Rift Town and from our camp that are the best candidates. As long as you find a piece that has the primary attribute, at least one secondary attribute you want, you can buy it once again using only scrap, upgrade it to rare quality with a very small investment using only leather for armor and iron for weapons. And every time you upgrade an item to rare quality, you will choose a random tier 1 mod out of 3 choices. And here you may face the dilemma once again on if you want to gamble or not. If the tier 1 mod is not used for your build, once again you can risk it using titanium shards to upgrade it to epic quality and hope that one of the 3 random tier 2 mods will be the one you like, or you can just sell it back for a very few scrap without upgrading, without risking your titanium shards. Honestly, the choice is yours, although at a point I personally had so many titanium shards and took a lot of risks easier, and I'm not gonna lie, many ended up as failures, but at least some were a success that helped me gear up a lot faster. And honestly, that made a huge difference in my progress through expeditions, because after all, primary resources can be found kinda easy at any point, but finding the optimal gear for your build to progress through expeditions can be quite a pain. Once you find proper gear, I also highly recommend to raise the attributes of all your gear, simply because every time you dismantle the gear while having the attributes upgraded, if my math are not mistaken, you will receive back all the shards you have spent for that upgrade. And after a point, this can make a huge necessary difference to your stats. So in the end, here are my overall tips for how you can farm a little more efficiently. First, do not dismantle all your blue items. Check them first if they may have the attributes and mods you may want in order to upgrade them to epic quality, as long as they are the maximum item level possible. You can dismantle only the ones you will need to get the shards for upgrading your primary attributes. And there is an easy way to recognize that very fast. First, mark all blue items, for example, and go over the dismantle button. It will display how many resources, including shards, you will get. If you see the shards you want, for example, it includes cooldown reduction, you can unmark all blue items once again and search for those that will give you what you want manually. You will recognize which items you will need to dismantle from the mark located next to the appropriate attribute name, and the mark looks like this. After you dismantle those, remark once again all, let's say, blue items, and make sure you do not forget by accident anything you need to dismantle, and sell them to the closest vendor. Be very careful though that the scrap limit is 999,999, and even if you sell more items after that, you will not get any more scrap and you will simply lose the items for nothing. As far as the epics you get, I recommend to dismantle everything, as titanium shards is a rarer resource and you will need a lot to upgrade your blue items. Do not upgrade your sidearm and second weapon, especially if you don't use them. You can equip, for example, a green quality sidearm and second weapon in order to raise your item level faster and get that precious health and anomaly power boost. You can buy in green quality and blue quality maximum level weapons at any time from any vendor that sells them. And speaking of vendors, check everyone every 30 minutes between your expeditions for any items that they have the stats and or the mods you will need. Try farming expeditions at the highest level, and even if you lose, as long as you have killed enough enemies, especially elites, you will still get many item drops. And make sure to check for blue items that have a potential for epic quality upgrade. If you find the highest level expedition too hard and frustrating, try setting the item level to your equipped maximum or even lower to just farm items to dismantle and sell for resources. And you can also try farming some spots for scrap and resources in World Tier 15, although you have to keep in mind that the higher the item level, the more resources and scrap it will give. And that's why I recommend to keep trying the expeditions, especially past item level 42, as you will also get drop pod resources as a bonus each time you complete them, even if they are lower levels than your current maximum. And once you reach the end game and start gathering enough resources from expeditions, don't forget to drop a visit to Tiago, which is located in your camp. He sells 8 guarantee legendaries as an elite offer at all times, and every 1 hour and a half he resets his regular offers, which can be very decent epic items, especially considering that you have a drop pod resources cap of 999,999, and let's hope for the best that you can get that close to the cap and you start spending resources to Tiago just to buy the legendaries and epic items for your primary spec or your secondary specs. And one last piece of advice, try using your personal preference when it comes to resource farming, either be expeditions, World Tier 15 or quests, and although certain ways can be a little more efficient, it doesn't matter so much, especially if you are doing it as a chore. I personally preferred to farm the expeditions, and if I fail too many times, I try to switch to the easier ones I'm more familiar with, or low the max level, rather than going back to World Tier 15 that could be faster and much easier in some missions. I hope that this video will help you improve your item level a little easier and you manage to complete those expeditions, and do not forget, this works for max level as well, while you try getting the precious legendary drops. I have personally used crafting and vendor system to get some of my best max item level gear that helped me a lot during the endgame expeditions. You can see my kind of optimal boots and hairpiece, for example, that were originally green items that I bought from a vendor and got one of the two mods I wanted, and I keep using them until now in tier 15 expeditions for solo. Good luck with your own farming and thank you very much for watching. Subscribe and stay tuned for more upcoming videos for Outriders and other video games, and have a wonderful day.